Alright guys, Bass and Bill 96 here, and chances are if you stumbled upon this video, you're looking for a way to make your own soft plastic lures. I'm going to show you guys how to take your old, used, soft plastic baits that are all ripped up and junky and turn them into brand new baits. I'm going to turn mine into Senkos, guys. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. Now what you're going to need to make your own soft plastic baits are 5 different things. You're going to need plaster of Paris, which is about $9.99 at your local hardware store. Got mine at Ace. A little piece of plastic that you're going to be creating the mold out of. Some baits that you're going to make the mold into, which I'm going to make a 4-inch Senko. I'm probably going to do a 3 or 4 bait mold, don't know yet. And then a piece of microwavable safe glass. I have a Pyrex cup because that's what you're going to heat the plastic up in. And then just another measuring cup that you're going to be able to measure out the plaster of Paris in. What you're going to want to do now is take the container for your mold and then the bait that you're going to be making. You're going to want to super glue the bait to the bottom of the mold. Now that you got that super glue down, you're going to want to go get your plaster of Paris solution ready. After you guys get your baits glued down in the mold, you're going to want to get your plaster of Paris solution ready. And it's a 2-to-1 mixture. So you're going to want 2 parts plaster of Paris and then 1 part water. So I'm going to do a half cup of this because we don't have a ton to fill. So we'll do a half cup of plaster of Paris and then a 1/4 cup of water. Alright, so we got a little bit more than a half cup, so we're going to use a little bit more than a 1/4 cup of water as well. Alright guys, since we have a little bit more than a half cup, I'm going to use a 1/3 of a cup of water. Now you're going to do is just add that right to the plaster of Paris solution, and you're going to stir it thoroughly. After you add the water, all you do is stir the solution up. After your mixture is nice and smooth, you're going to want to add it to your mold. And what you're going to want to do is just pour it on one side and let the plaster of Paris move over the entire mold. Don't try to cover the whole mold by yourself because you're going to create air bubbles, which are bad. And you're just going to want to let the mixture spread over your entire mold. And also dropping it helps the air bubbles get out too. They bring them right up to the top. Now we're just going to let this sit for about an hour and we'll come back to you guys when it's all set and dry. Alright guys, I've let it sit for an hour. Now we're going to take the mold out. You can try to keep your container intact, and some of you might have used a more permanent container, but if I have to resort to it, I'll just cut this right open. But yeah, I'll probably just break this actually. All you're going to do is whittle away at the plaster of Paris that got underneath the plastic a little bit so you can get the Senkos that you used out. And you're just going to want to kind of go through it and clean it up a little bit. Make it a little bit wider at the top so you could pull the baits out a lot easier. And then you should have something that looks a little bit like that. Another thing I'm going to go ahead and do is take a Q-tip, get some water, and go clean out some of that debris that the plaster of Paris left over. Once the plaster of Paris is set, the water is not going to have any effect on it, so I just went ahead and blasted it with some water really quick. I'm going to take a Q-tip and get some of those inner areas and dry them out too, so stay tuned. After you have it all dried out and ready to go, it's all clean, I'm going to be adding some epoxy. And just add a little bit. It spreads at 50-50 right there for you. Kind of clean that off. And I'm just going to use the Q-tip to go ahead and get some of this on there. We're going to go ahead and let that dry, and we're going to move on to the next step. Going to be taking some of our old plastics. This is another optional step. I like cutting them up just so they kind of melt a little bit easier. Next step is heating this up in the microwave. Alright guys, next step is putting in the microwave. We're going to probably start it out at 1 minute. We're going to have to cook it for a little bit longer than that. You don't want to do it all at once. It's probably going to have to go in there for 2 to 2.5 minutes, but if you do it all at once, you're going to burn your plastic. You're going to want to do it for about a minute, stir your plastic up, and then put it back in for maybe another minute, stir it up, and then maybe another 30 seconds or so. We're going to see how it goes, guys. Alright, 1 minute's up. As you can see, didn't really fully melt anything. Kind of stirred around a little bit. And then put it in there for another minute. You gotta be really careful. This stuff gets extremely hot. You shouldn't do what I just did and touch the plastic like that. I could see that one wasn't really burnt up at all, but if you touch any of the wet, hot, melted plastic, it's a couple hundred degrees and you're gonna burn yourself. So Alright, now you can see it's definitely a lot more heated. It kind of started to burn a little bit, but not too bad. We're still okay. Just kind of get all the stuff off the edges. And down into the Pyrex glass. Stir it up a little bit more. Probably going to do another 30 seconds just to make sure though. I want to make sure it's nice and liquidy. There's still a little bit of chunks in there. Alright, 30 seconds is up. I'm going to stir it up nice and good. Then we're going to go bring it to the mold, guys. Stay tuned. Alright guys, you're going to take your melted plastic right there. Nice green pumpkin, black and blue. And you're just going to pour it inside of your mold. Try to keep it nice and even. It's going to fill in there nicely. Go on to the next one. If you want to leave that sit for 1 to 2 minutes while it dries. Alright guys, then you're going to want to take them out of the mold. So you're going to want to peel them out carefully. Mine are kind of connected too, so you can kind of just break that apart there. Pull out the first one. If you use the epoxy, it should come out pretty nice. And you're going to be able to cut off the little excess pieces as well. Alright guys, you got 3 singles there. You're just going to want to go through there and clean up the edges a little bit. Cut off some of that excess plastic. Alright guys, and there you have it. You got 3 perfectly good baits right there. Going to be great for fishing ponds, anything like that. It's just a better way to recycle your baits. You're not gonna... Alright guys, if you like the video, subscribe to my channel. Going to be making a ton more videos, DIY videos, ice fishing videos, open water videos, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be awesome, so stay tuned.